The glass of ice water slipped from Zara Hudson's manicured fingers in what felt like slow motion, and she watched in horror as the entire contents splashed directly onto the chest of the man standing in line in front of her at the coffee shop, soaking his faded blue work shirt until it clung to his body like a second skin. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," Zara gasped, her hand flying to her mouth as she took in the full extent of the damage. The man turned around, and she found herself looking up into the warmest brown eyes she had ever seen, set in a face that was both rugged and kind. Water dripped from his shirt onto the coffee shop floor, creating a small puddle around his work boots. "Hey, it's okay," the man said, his voice surprisingly calm as he glanced down at his thoroughly soaked shirt. "Accidents happen. At least it was just water and not coffee, right?" Zara blinked in disbelief. She had been preparing herself for anger, for frustration, for the kind of confrontation she dealt with daily in the boardroom. Instead, this stranger was smiling at her with genuine warmth, even as water continued to drip from his clothes. She noticed the calluses on his hands as he tried to wring out the bottom of his shirt, the way his shoulders were broad from what was clearly physical labor. "I really am terribly sorry. Please, let me pay for your dry cleaning or buy you a new shirt," Zara insisted, already reaching for her designer purse. She was acutely aware of the contrast between them, her in her perfectly tailored business suit that cost more than most people made in a month, him in clothes that had clearly seen better days but were clean and well-maintained. "Honestly, it's fine. This shirt has been through worse. I work construction, so a little water is nothing compared to what I usually deal with," he said with an easy laugh that made something warm unfurl in Zara's chest. "Besides, it's hot today. Consider it a free cool down." A small voice piped up from behind the man's legs. "Daddy, is the lady okay?" Zara's gaze dropped to see a little girl, maybe 5 or 6 years old, with the same warm brown eyes as her father, clutching a well-loved stuffed rabbit to her chest. Her clothes, like her father's, were clean but clearly worn, and her dark hair was pulled back in a slightly crooked ponytail that spoke of a father doing his best. "I'm fine, sweetheart," Zara found herself saying, crouching down to be at eye level with the child despite her expensive skirt. "I'm the clumsy one who spilled water all over your daddy. I should be asking if he's okay." The little girl giggled. "Daddy's always okay. He's the strongest person in the whole world." The man's cheeks colored slightly, and he placed a gentle hand on his daughter's shoulder. "Lily, what do we say about exaggerating?" "But it's true," Lily protested, then looked at Zara conspiratorially. "He can carry me on his shoulders for a whole hour without getting tired." "That's pretty impressive," Zara said, standing back up and meeting the man's eyes again. There was something about the way he looked at his daughter, with such pure, uncomplicated love, that made her heart clench. "I'm Zara, by the way. Zara Hudson." "Tyler Lancaster," he said, extending his hand before remembering it was wet and pulling it back with an apologetic grimace. "And this is my daughter, Lily. It's nice to meet you both, though I wish it were under less soggy circumstances." Zara watched as Tyler tried once more to wring out his shirt. The fabric was thin enough that she could see he was shivering slightly in the coffee shop's aggressive air conditioning. "Please, there's a men's clothing store just down the street. Let me at least buy you a replacement shirt. You're going to freeze in that wet one." "That's really not necessary," Tyler said, but Lily tugged on his hand. "Daddy, you're shaking," she said, her small face creased with concern. "You always tell me to accept help when people offer it kindly." Tyler looked down at his daughter, and Zara watched something soft cross his features. It was clear that this little girl was his entire world. "You're right, Lilybug," he said, then looked back at Zara with a slightly embarrassed smile. "If you're sure it's not too much trouble." "It's absolutely no trouble. It's the least I can do," Zara said firmly. She realized she was running late for her afternoon meetings, but something about this man and his daughter made her want to stay, to make sure they were okay. It was an unfamiliar feeling for someone who lived and breathed by her schedule. They left the coffee shop together, Lily walking between them and chattering happily about the stuffed rabbit she was carrying, whose name was apparently Mr. Hopsworth. Zara found herself smiling more in those 5 minutes than she had in the entire week. There was something refreshingly genuine about this little family unit, so different from the calculated interactions she dealt with in her corporate world. The clothing store was sleek and modern, the kind of place Zara frequented, but Tyler clearly did not. She could see him hesitate at the entrance, taking in the minimalist displays and the price tags that were probably more than he spent on clothes in a year. "Really, this is too much," Tyler said, but Zara was already waving over a sales associate. "Nonsense. I ruined your shirt. Please, pick out whatever you need." Tyler moved through the store with the careful consideration of someone who was used to making every dollar count. He gravitated toward the clearance section, and Zara had to gently steer him toward the regular inventory. "The whole point is to replace what I ruined," she reminded him. "Please don't worry about the price." "That's easier said than done," Tyler admitted, running his hand over a simple button-down shirt. "I'm not used to this." He gestured vaguely at the upscale store. "What do you do for work?" Zara found herself asking, genuinely curious. "Construction, like I said. I'm a foreman for a small company. We do renovations, mostly residential work." Tyler picked up a basic navy work shirt that looked almost identical to the one he was wearing. "This is perfect." "Daddy also builds things for me," Lily added proudly. "He made my bookshelf shaped like a castle. Did he now?" Zara looked at Tyler with new appreciation. "That sounds impressive." "It's just hobby woodworking," Tyler said modestly. "I like working with my hands, and Lily's worth the extra effort." The sales associate rang up the purchase, and Zara didn't even blink at the amount, though she saw Tyler wince. She handed over her credit card, while Tyler went to change in the fitting room, emerging a few minutes later in the new shirt, his wet one bundled under his arm. "Thank you," he said, and there was genuine gratitude in his voice. "You really didn't have to do all this for a simple accident." "It was my fault entirely," Zara insisted. "I was distracted, not paying attention to my surroundings. That's not like me." "Tough day at work?" Tyler asked as they walked back outside into the late afternoon sunshine. Zara laughed, though it came out slightly bitter. "You could say that." "I had back-to-back meetings all morning, and I was trying to grab a coffee before the next round started this afternoon." She glanced at her watch and felt a jolt of panic, which I'm now thoroughly late for. "Then we should let you go," Tyler said immediately. "Thank you again for the shirt, Zara." "That was really kind of you." Zara opened her mouth to say goodbye, but something stopped her. Maybe it was the way Lily was looking up at her with those big, trusting eyes. Maybe it was the way Tyler smiled at his daughter with such obvious devotion. Or maybe it was the fact that in the past 30 minutes, she had felt more like a real person than she had in months of corporate maneuvering. "Would you like to get that coffee now?" The words tumbled out before Zara could second-guess them. "I mean, I made you late for your afternoon plans too, probably. The least I could do is actually buy you the coffee we were both trying to get." Tyler looked surprised, then glanced down at Lily. "We were just going to the park after coffee." "I'm off work early today because we finished a job ahead of schedule. The park has swings," Lily announced, "and a slide that's really, really tall." "That sounds lovely," Zara heard herself say, even though she had 3 executives waiting for her back at the office. She pulled out her phone and quickly typed out a message to her assistant, rescheduling the afternoon meetings. It was completely unlike her, but she found she didn't care. They went back to the coffee shop, where Zara bought Tyler the largest black coffee on the menu, a hot chocolate with extra marshmallows for Lily, and another water for herself since she had spilled her first one. They sat at a small table by the window, and Zara found herself relaxing in a way she rarely did. "So what do you do?" Tyler asked, warming his hands on his coffee cup. "You mentioned meetings, office work?" "Something like that," Zara said vaguely. She wasn't ready to tell him she was the CEO of Hudson Tech Solutions, one of the fastest-growing software companies in the city. People's attitudes tended to change when they learned about her position and wealth, and she was enjoying being treated like a normal person for once. I work in tech. Lots of meetings, lots of emails, lots of putting out fires. Sounds stressful, Tyler observed. Is it worth it? The question caught Zara off guard. No one ever asked her that. They assumed that the money and power made everything worthwhile. I don't know, she admitted. I built the company from the ground up. It's my baby in a way, but sometimes I wonder if I've given up too much for it. Like what? Tyler asked, and there was no judgment in his tone, just genuine curiosity. Like this, Zara said, gesturing around them. Sitting in a coffee shop on a Tuesday afternoon, talking to someone without an agenda, watching a child be happy about hot chocolate with marshmallows. When's the last time I did something this normal? Tyler smiled at that. Normal is underrated, I think. A lot of people spend their whole lives chasing something more, something bigger, and they forget to appreciate the small moments. Is that what you do? Appreciate the small moments? I try to, Tyler said, his gaze drifting to Lily, who was carefully arranging her marshmallows in a pattern on top of her hot chocolate. When Lily's mom left 3 years ago, I realized that nothing else really matters except making sure my daughter is happy and loved. The rest is just details. Zara felt her heart constrict at the matter-of-fact way he said it. I'm sorry, that must have been incredibly difficult. It was, Tyler admitted. Rebecca decided that being a mother wasn't what she wanted after all. She signed away her parental rights and moved across the country. Lily barely remembers her now, which is probably for the best. We're doing okay, just the two of us. More than okay, from what I can see, Zara said softly, watching the way Lily looked at her father with complete trust and adoration. She's clearly thriving. I do my best. Some days are harder than others, especially financially. Construction work pays the bills, but not much more. Still, we have what we need and we have each other. Tyler took a sip of his coffee. What about you? Do you have family here? Zara shook her head. Not really. My parents retired to Florida years ago. I'm an only child, and I've been so focused on work that I never really made time for anything else. No husband, no kids, no pets, just me and my company. That sounds lonely, Tyler said simply, without pity, just stating a fact. It is, Zara found herself admitting. I didn't realize how lonely until just now, sitting here with you both. Lily finished her hot chocolate and tugged on Tyler's sleeve. Can we go to the park now, Daddy? You promised. Of course, sweetheart. Tyler stood up, then looked at Zara. You're welcome to join us, if you want, unless you need to get back to those meetings. Zara thought about her office, about the reports waiting on her desk, about the executives who were probably annoyed at being rescheduled. Then she thought about going back to that sterile, climate-controlled environment where everyone wanted something from her. I'd love to come to the park, she said, surprising herself. The park was only a few blocks away, a green oasis in the middle of the city. Lily immediately ran for the swings, her stuffed rabbit tucked safely on a bench, and Tyler followed with the practiced ease of a father who had done this 1,000 times. Zara sat on the bench, holding her designer purse and feeling completely out of place in her business suit, but also more content than she had felt in years. She watched as Tyler pushed Lily on the swings, the little girl shrieking with delight every time she went higher. Then they moved to the slide, where Tyler stood at the bottom with his arms out, catching Lily every time even though she was clearly old enough to slide safely on her own. It was the gesture that mattered, Zara realized, the constant reassurance that he would always be there to catch her. After a while, Tyler came back to the bench, slightly out of breath, while Lily played in the sandbox with some other children. She's got more energy than I do these days, he said with a laugh, sitting down next to Zara. I swear I was able to keep up better when she was 3. You're doing an amazing job, Zara said. Seriously, I know I don't know you well, but it's obvious that she's everything to you. She is, Tyler agreed. Being her dad is the most important thing I'll ever do. Everything else is secondary. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching Lily build an elaborate sandcastle with another little girl. The late afternoon sun painted everything golden, and Zara felt something shift inside her. This was what she had been missing. Connection, simplicity, purpose beyond profit margins and market share. "Can I ask you something?" Zara said suddenly. "And please be honest." "Sure," Tyler said, turning to look at her. "Do you think I'm crazy for sitting here with you? A stranger and his daughter, when I should be at work running a company that employs over 300 people?" Tyler considered the question seriously. "I think you're human. I think you're someone who accidentally knocked over a glass of water and then decided to be kind about it. And I think maybe you needed this as much as I'm enjoying it." "Enjoying it?" Zara repeated. "Yeah," Tyler said, and there was something in his eyes that made her heart skip. "Lily and we have our routine: work, daycare, dinner, bedtime. It's good and I'm grateful for it, but it's also small. It's been a long time since I talked to another adult who wasn't a client or a daycare worker or a cashier at the grocery store. It's been even longer since I talked to someone as interesting as you." "I'm not that interesting," Zara protested. "I work too much and have no life outside the office." "You're here now," Tyler pointed out. "That tells me you're interesting. You made a choice to do something different, something that probably goes against every instinct of your normal routine. That takes courage." Zara felt warmth spread through her chest. "When you put it that way, I suppose it does." They talked for another hour while Lily played, and Zara learned more about Tyler's life. He had grown up in a small town, had moved to the city for work opportunities, and had met Rebecca at a bar when he was 22. They had gotten married too young, had Lily too soon, and Rebecca had realized too late that she didn't want the life they were building. Tyler had been devastated, but had channeled everything into being the best father he could be. In turn, Zara told him about building her company from a small startup in her apartment to the thriving business it was now. She talked about the long hours, the sacrifices, the constant pressure to grow and succeed. But she also talked about how empty her beautiful penthouse apartment felt, how she sometimes went weeks without a meaningful conversation. "That's the trade-off, I guess," Tyler said. "You built something incredible, but you gave up something too." "What did you give up?" Zara asked. Tyler thought about it. "Financial security, maybe, the chance to pursue some of my dreams. But I got Lily, and she's worth more than all of that combined. I guess we all make our choices." The sun was starting to set when Lily finally ran back to them, her face flushed and happy, covered in a fine layer of sand. "Daddy, I'm hungry," she announced. Tyler checked his watch and grimaced. "We should get home. I need to make dinner." "What are you making?" Zara found herself asking. "Probably spaghetti. It's Lily's favorite, and it's one of the few things I can cook that doesn't come out of a box." Tyler stood up and brushed the sand off his new shirt. "Thank you for spending the afternoon with us, Zara. This was really nice." "It was," Zara agreed, standing as well. She didn't want the day to end. For the first time in years, she felt like she had connected with someone real, someone who saw her as just Zara, not as CEO Hudson with her power and money. Could we do this again sometime? Maybe coffee without the water incident?" Tyler looked surprised but pleased. "I'd like that. Let me give you my number." They exchanged phone numbers, and Zara found herself smiling as she saved his contact information. It was such a simple thing, but it felt significant. "Can we see Zara again soon, Daddy?" Lily asked, taking her father's hand. "If she wants to see us, sweetheart," Tyler said. "I definitely do," Zara assured them both. She watched them walk away, Tyler's hand firmly holding Lily's, the little girl chattering away about her adventures at the park. Zara stood there for a long moment, feeling something she couldn't quite name. It was bigger than attraction, though she couldn't deny that Tyler was handsome in a rugged, real way that was completely different from the polished executives she usually encountered. It was bigger than curiosity, though she was certainly curious about them both. It was possibility, she realized. The possibility of something different, something more. When Zara finally made it back to her office, her assistant looked relieved to see her. "Miss Hudson, your afternoon meetings have been rescheduled for tomorrow," Miranda said, following her into the office. "Is everything all right? It's not like you to cancel." "Everything is fine," Zara said, and she realized she meant it. "I just had something more important to take care of." That night, lying in her king-sized bed in her empty penthouse apartment, Zara couldn't stop thinking about Tyler and Lily. She picked up her phone a dozen times, wanting to text him, but not knowing what to say. Finally, she settled on something simple. "Thank you for letting me crash your afternoon. I had a wonderful time." His response came a few minutes later. "Thank you for the shirt and for being so kind. Lily is already asking when she can see you again." "Just Lily," Zara typed back, feeling bold. "No," came the response, "not just Lily." Zara fell asleep smiling, her phone clutched in her hand. Over the next few weeks, Zara and Tyler fell into an easy pattern of texting throughout the day. Tyler would send her pictures of Lily's latest artwork or funny things she had said. Zara would send him updates about her day, the ridiculous things that happened in meetings, the small victories and frustrations. It was casual and easy, and Zara found herself checking her phone more than she ever had for work purposes. They met for coffee twice more, once with Lily and once without, when Tyler's mother was visiting from his hometown and could watch her granddaughter. That second coffee date stretched into lunch, and then a walk through the city, and Zara found herself talking to Tyler in a way she had never talked to anyone. He listened without trying to fix things or offer advice unless she asked. He shared his own struggles and triumphs without ego or self-pity. He was genuine in a way that felt revolutionary. "I have to tell you something," Zara said as they sat on a bench near the waterfront, watching boats drift by. "And I'm worried it might change how you see me." "Okay," Tyler said neutrally. "I haven't been entirely honest about what I do," Zara admitted. "I told you I work in tech, which is true, but I didn't tell you that I own the company. I'm the CEO of Hudson Tech Solutions. I have 300 employees, and my company is worth several $100 million. Tyler was quiet for a moment, and Zara held her breath, waiting for his reaction. "Why didn't you tell me before?" he finally asked. "Because I liked being just Zara," she said. "Not CEO Hudson, not the boss, not the woman with money and power. Just me, and I was afraid if you knew, you'd start treating me differently." "Do you think I'm the kind of person who would treat you differently because of your job?" Tyler asked, and there was hurt in his voice. "No," Zara said quickly. "I don't, but it's happened before. People find out who I am and what I'm worth, and suddenly they want something from me, or they become intimidated and pull away. I just wanted to be normal for a little while." Tyler nodded slowly. "I understand that. And for what it's worth, it doesn't change anything for me. You're still the woman who spilled water on me and then spent the whole afternoon with me and Lily, even though you had important meetings. You're still the person who texts me pictures of ridiculous things in your office and asks about Lily's day. That's who you are to me. The CEO stuff is just what you do, not who you are." Zara felt tears prick her eyes. "Thank you. That means more than you know." "Although it does explain the very expensive designer clothes and the penthouse apartment you mentioned," Tyler added with a small smile. Zara laughed through her tears. "Yeah, I guess it does. Can I tell you something now?" Tyler asked. "Of course." "I'm terrified," he admitted. "Not of your money or your success. I'm terrified because I'm starting to have feelings for you, and I have no idea what someone like me could possibly offer someone like you." Zara turned to face him fully. "What do you mean, someone like you?" "Tyler, you're the most genuine, kindest, most grounded person I've met in years. You're an amazing father. You work hard and take care of your responsibilities. You make me laugh. You make me think. You make me want to be better. That's what you offer." "I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that I can barely afford," Tyler said. I drive a truck that's older than my relationship with Rebecca was. I shop at thrift stores and clip coupons. Lily and I are doing okay, but we're one emergency away from financial disaster most of the time. I can't take you to fancy restaurants or buy you expensive gifts. I can't offer you the lifestyle you're used to. I don't want any of that, Zara said firmly. I have money. What I don't have is what you give me. I don't have someone who looks at me like I'm the most interesting person in the world when I talk about my day. I don't have someone who challenges me to think about what really matters. I don't have a sweet little girl who draws pictures of the three of us having a picnic because she wants me to be part of your lives. Tyler looked surprised. She drew that. She gave it to me last week, Zara confirmed. It's hanging on my refrigerator, which is the only decoration in my entire apartment that means anything to me. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their confessions hanging in the air between them. So what do we do? Tyler finally asked. We figure it out together, Zara said. If you want to, if you're willing to try. I'm willing, Tyler said, but we have to be careful. Lily's been through enough with her mother leaving. I can't let her get attached to you if this isn't going to work out. I understand, Zara said, and I would never want to hurt her, or you. Tyler reached over and took her hand. It was the first time they had touched since that initial handshake in the coffee shop, and Zara felt electricity shoot through her at the contact. His hand was rough and calloused from work, so different from the smooth hands of the executives she dealt with, and she loved it. Okay then, he said. Let's try this, but slow for Lily's sake. Slow, Zara agreed, but slow was harder than either of them anticipated. Now that their feelings were out in the open, Zara found herself thinking about Tyler constantly. They texted more frequently, and she started finding excuses to visit him on his job sites, showing up with coffee and sandwiches from the deli near her office. Tyler's crew teased him mercilessly about the beautiful woman in designer clothes, who clearly had eyes only for their foreman, but Tyler took it in stride. Zara also started spending more time with Lily. She would pick her up from daycare sometimes, with Tyler's permission, and they would go to the park or get ice cream before Tyler got off work. Lily was bright and funny and creative, and Zara found herself falling in love with the little girl almost as fast as she was falling for her father. One evening, about 2 months after the coffee shop incident, Tyler invited Zara over for dinner at his apartment. It was the first time she would see where he and Lily lived, and Zara was nervous as she climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor of the old building. Tyler answered the door with an apron on, and Zara had to suppress a smile. He looked adorably domestic. Come in, he said, stepping aside. Sorry about the mess. We cleaned, but you know how it is with a 6-year-old. The apartment was small but cozy. The furniture was clearly secondhand but well-maintained, and everywhere Zara looked, she saw signs of Lily. Her drawings were hung on the walls, her toys were neatly organized in bins in the corner of the living room, and the castle bookshelf Tyler had built dominated one wall, painted in bright colors and filled with children's books. This is wonderful, Zara said honestly. It feels like a home. It's not much, Tyler said, looking around as if trying to see it through her eyes. It's perfect, Zara insisted. She walked over to the bookshelf and ran her hand along the wood. You really made this? Yeah, took me about 2 weeks working after Lily went to bed. She wanted something special for her birthday last year. It's incredible. You're incredibly talented, Tyler. Lily came running out of what Zara assumed was her bedroom, wearing a princess dress and a crown. Zara, you came. Do you want to see my room? I'd love to, Zara said, letting Lily drag her down the short hallway. Lily's room was small but cheerful, decorated in pinks and purples, with more of her artwork displayed and stuffed animals arranged on her bed. But what caught Zara's attention was the elaborate dollhouse in the corner, clearly handmade with the same care and attention as the bookshelf. Daddy made that for me too, Lily said proudly. He makes the best things. He certainly does, Zara agreed, her heart full. Dinner was indeed spaghetti. But Tyler had also made a salad and garlic bread, and everything was delicious despite his claims of being a mediocre cook. They ate at the small kitchen table, Lily chattering about her day at school, and Zara felt a profound sense of belonging that she had never experienced before. After dinner, while Tyler did the dishes despite Zara's offers to help, she sat on the couch with Lily and read her favorite story about a brave princess who rescued herself. When the story was done, Lily cuddled into Zara's side. "I'm glad you're here," Lily said sleepily. "I like when you're here." "I like being here too," Zara said softly, stroking Lily's hair. Tyler came out of the kitchen to find them like that, and the expression on his face made Zara's heart clench. It was tender and vulnerable and full of emotion. "Time for bed, Lily Bug," he said gently. "Will Zara tuck me in?" Lily asked hopefully. Tyler looked at Zara, silently asking permission, and she nodded. "I'd be honored." She followed Tyler and Lily to the bedroom, where Tyler helped Lily change into her pajamas and brush her teeth. Then they both sat on the edge of her bed while she got comfortable with Mr. Hopsworth under her arm. "Good night, Lily," Zara said, leaning down to kiss her forehead. It felt natural, like something she had been doing forever. "Good night, Zara," Lily said. "I love you." The words hung in the air. Zara froze, not sure how to respond. She looked at Tyler, who looked equally stunned. "I love you too, sweetheart," Zara finally managed, her voice thick with emotion. They left Lily's room, and Tyler closed the door softly behind them. In the living room, he turned to Zara with an apologetic expression. "I'm sorry. She shouldn't have said that. It's too much pressure on you." "Don't apologize," Zara said firmly. "I meant it. I do love her. I know it's fast and maybe it's crazy, but I do." Tyler stepped closer. "And what about me? What about you?" Zara asked, her heart pounding. "Do you love me too?" His voice was quiet, vulnerable. Zara looked up at him, at this man who had shown her what really mattered in life, who had welcomed her into his small world without hesitation, who looked at her like she was precious. "Yes," she whispered. "I love you too." Tyler cupped her face in his hands, his thumbs brushing her cheekbones. "I love you, Zara. I think I've been falling in love with you since you offered to buy me a new shirt, even though I had every right to be angry at you." "Your kindness undid me," Zara admitted. "You could have been upset, but you were so gracious and so kind, and I couldn't stop thinking about you." "Can I kiss you?" Tyler asked. "Please," Zara breathed. The kiss was soft and sweet at first, tentative, like they were both afraid of breaking the spell. But then Tyler's arms came around her, pulling her closer, and Zara melted into him. She had been kissed before, plenty of times, but never like this. Never with such tenderness and care, like she was something precious that needed to be cherished. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Tyler rested his forehead against hers. "This is real, right?" he asked. "This isn't just me imagining things. It's real," Zara confirmed. "The most real thing I've ever felt." They spent the rest of the evening on the couch, talking and kissing and planning a future that was starting to take shape in both their minds. Zara left reluctantly around 11, after Tyler walked her down to her car and kissed her goodnight 3 more times. The next few months were a blur of happiness. Zara started restructuring her work schedule to have more free time. She delegated more to her executive team, promoted her assistant Miranda to chief operating officer, and implemented a strict policy of not checking email after 6 p.m. or on weekends. Her board was initially concerned, but the company continued to thrive, and Zara was happier and more focused than she had ever been. She spent most of her free time with Tyler and Lily. They went to the zoo, to museums, to the beach. They had movie nights in Tyler's apartment and cooking disasters in Zara's, much fancier kitchen. They celebrated Lily's 7th birthday with a princess party that Zara helped plan and fund, though Tyler was initially uncomfortable accepting her financial help. "Let me do this," Zara had said. "Not because you need me to, but because I want to. Because Lily matters to me, and I want to make her birthday special." Tyler had agreed, and the party had been a huge success. watching Lily's face light up as she saw the decorations and the cake and all her friends from school. Zara had felt such a surge of love that it almost overwhelmed her. The question of finances became a recurring conversation between them. Tyler was fiercely independent and hated feeling like he was taking advantage of Zara's wealth. Zara tried to be sensitive to his pride while also wanting to help make their lives easier. "I'm not trying to solve all your problems with money," she said one evening as they sat on her balcony, looking out over the city lights while Lily slept in Zara's guest room, which had slowly been transformed into a bedroom for her. "But I have resources, and it seems silly not to use them to help the people I love." "I know," Tyler said, "and I appreciate it. I just worry about Lily learning the wrong lessons. I don't want her to think that money solves everything or that she doesn't have to work hard because Zara's rich." "That's a fair concern," Zara acknowledged. "But I think we can find a balance. And for what it's worth, you're teaching her incredible lessons about work ethic and responsibility and kindness. A little financial comfort isn't going to undo that." They decided together that Zara would help with some of the bigger expenses, like moving them to a safer apartment in a better school district and funding Lily's college savings account, but Tyler would continue to handle day-to-day expenses and his own bills. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it felt equitable and respected Tyler's need to provide for his daughter. 8 months after the coffee shop incident, Tyler got injured on a job site when some scaffolding collapsed. He ended up with a broken leg and couldn't work for 3 months. Zara immediately offered to cover everything he needed, but Tyler was stubborn. "I have some savings," he insisted from his hospital bed, "and workers' compensation will help. We'll be okay." "Tyler, please let me help," Zara pleaded. "This is what people who love each other do." "They help when things are hard." "I know, but I have to be able to take care of Lily myself. What if something happens to us? What if you decide this isn't what you want? I can't let Lily get used to depending on your money." Zara felt hurt by the implication that she might leave, but she understood his fear. "Nothing is going to happen to us," she said firmly. "I love you. I love Lily. I'm in this for the long haul, Tyler, but I understand that you need to feel like you're providing. So how about this? You let me help now while you're injured, and you can pay me back if it makes you feel better. Consider it a loan, 0% interest." Tyler had reluctantly agreed, and Zara had helped cover his rent and expenses while he recovered. She also rearranged her schedule to help with Lily, picking her up from school and helping with homework and making dinner. She and Tyler grew even closer during those difficult months, and Zara proved to him that she wasn't going anywhere. The day Tyler finally got his cast off and returned to work was a celebration. He came home that first day exhausted but happy, and Zara was waiting with Lily, who had made a big welcome back sign. "How was it?" Zara asked, kissing him hello. "Harder than I expected," Tyler admitted. "I'm out of shape, but it felt good to be back." That night, after Lily was in bed, Tyler pulled out an envelope and handed it to Zara. "What's this?" she asked. "The first payment on what I owe you," he said. Zara opened the envelope and found $500 in cash. "Tyler, we agreed you'd pay me back when you could, but you don't have to start now. You just got back to work." "I know I don't have to. I want to. I need you to know that I pay my debts, that I'm a man who keeps his word." Zara set the envelope aside and took his hands. "I never doubted that for a second. Your integrity is one of the things I love most about you, but I want you to use this money for Lily or for savings. Please." They compromised. Tyler would pay back what he felt he needed to, but on a schedule that made sense for his budget. It would take 2 years, but Zara didn't care. What mattered was that Tyler felt good about himself and their relationship. A year after they met, Tyler finally worked up the courage to do what he had been planning for months. He had saved every extra penny, had asked Lily's permission, and had bought a simple but beautiful ring that had taken 6 months of payments to afford. He could have asked Zara to marry him with no ring at all, or accepted when she had gently offered to help him buy one. but this was something he needed to do himself. He planned an elaborate treasure hunt for Lily, with Zara's help, that led all around the park where they had first spent an afternoon together. At each station, there was a clue and a small toy or treat for Lily. The final clue led them back to the bench where Tyler and Zara had sat and talked while Lily played, the bench where everything had really begun. Tyler got down on one knee, and Lily bounced excitedly beside him, unable to contain herself even though she had promised to be calm. "Zara Hudson," Tyler said, his voice shaking slightly. "A year ago, you spilled water on me and then changed my entire life. You've shown me what it means to be truly seen and loved. You've been an incredible partner and an amazing presence in Lily's life. You've made our little family complete." "Would you marry me?" "Yes," Zara said, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, absolutely yes." Tyler slipped the ring on her finger and Lily cheered and threw herself at both of them, wrapping her arms around their necks. "We're going to be a real family," Lily squealed. "Zara's going to be my mom." "If that's okay with you," Zara said, looking at the little girl who had stolen her heart. "It's perfect," Lily declared. They got married 6 months later in a small ceremony with close friends and family. Lily was the flower girl, wearing a dress she had helped pick out, and she took her job very seriously. Tyler's mother cried through the entire ceremony. Zara's parents flew in from Florida and were charmed by Tyler's straightforward kindness and obvious love for their daughter. Zara wore a simple white dress, beautiful but not ostentatious, and Tyler wore a new suit that Zara had insisted on buying as a wedding gift. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, and Tyler kissed her, Zara felt like everything in her life had finally clicked into place. They bought a house together, using Zara's money for the down payment, but putting both their names on the mortgage. It was important to Tyler that he contribute, so they structured it so his construction income covered the mortgage payment while Zara handled the utilities and other expenses. It wasn't a perfect division of finances, but it worked for them. The house was in a good neighborhood with excellent schools for Lily. It had 4 bedrooms, which Tyler thought was excessive until Zara pointed out that they might want more children someday, and Lily would need her own space as she grew up. It also had a garage that Tyler immediately claimed as his workshop, where he could pursue his woodworking hobby. Zara cut back even more at work, finally accepting that she had built something strong enough to run without her constant oversight. She transitioned to working from home 3 days a week and made it to every school event, every parent-teacher conference, every soccer game when Lily decided she wanted to try sports. Tyler's construction business partnered with Hudson Tech Solutions for a major renovation project on the company's new office building. Tyler was terrified of being accused of nepotism, but Zara pointed out that his company had bid competitively and won the contract based on merit. It was a huge job that significantly improved Tyler's financial situation and led to more corporate contracts for his small company. 2 years after the wedding, Zara announced she was pregnant. Tyler was thrilled and terrified in equal measure. Lily, now 9, was ecstatic at the idea of being a big sister. "I'm going to teach the baby everything I know," she declared, "and help change diapers and make bottles and everything." The pregnancy was smooth, and Tyler was attentive to a fault, constantly worrying about Zara and making sure she was comfortable. He painted the nursery himself, creating a beautiful mural of a forest scene with animals peeking out from behind trees. Zara would sometimes stand in the doorway and watch him work, overwhelmed with love for this man who put so much care into everything he did. Their son, Thomas Michael Lancaster, was born on a warm spring morning. He had Tyler's brown eyes and Zara's nose, and from the moment Tyler held him, Zara knew their family was complete. Lily was obsessed with her baby brother, constantly wanting to hold him and help take care of him. "Be gentle, Lily Bug," Tyler would remind her, but Lily was naturally careful and loving with Thomas. Zara took 6 months of maternity leave, something she never would have imagined doing before she met Tyler. She spent the time bonding with Thomas, being present for Lily, and being with Tyler in a way that didn't involve rushing off to meetings or checking emails. It was the happiest 6 months of her life. When she did return to work, it was on an even more reduced schedule. She realized that Hudson Tech Solutions had been her entire identity for so long, but now she was so much more. She was a wife, a mother to Lily, a mother to Thomas, and a partner to Tyler. The company was still important, but it wasn't everything anymore. Tyler's construction company continued to grow, eventually employing 12 people. He was proud of what he had built, and Zara was proud of him. He had never let his initial financial struggles define him, and he had worked hard to create stability for their family while accepting the help Zara offered with grace. On a Tuesday afternoon, 3 years after Thomas was born, Zara found herself back in the same coffee shop where everything had started. She was meeting a client for a casual discussion, but she arrived early and stood in line, remembering that day 5 years ago when she had been running late, stressed out, and had accidentally spilled water on a stranger. "Can you believe it's been 5 years?" Tyler's voice said behind her, and she turned to find him standing there with that same warm smile that had captivated her from the beginning. "What are you doing here?" Zara asked, delighted. "I thought you had a job site to supervise. I finished early and thought I'd surprise you." "Miranda told me you were meeting a client here." Tyler stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her waist. "Besides, I wanted to commemorate the anniversary of the best accident that ever happened to me." "You're such a sap," Zara said fondly, reaching up to kiss him. "You love it," Tyler said against her lips. "I really do," Zara agreed. They ordered coffee together, and while they waited, Zara looked around at the same shop that had changed her life. The tables were the same, the menu was the same, but everything else was different. She was different. She was happy in a way she had never known was possible. "What are you thinking about?" Tyler asked, noticing her distant expression. "Just how grateful I am that I was clumsy that day," Zara said. "How grateful I am that you were kind when you had every right not to be. How grateful I am for everything that came after." "I'm grateful too," Tyler said. "For the water, for your kindness, for you giving us a chance even though we were from such different worlds, for loving Lily like she's your own, for Thomas, for this life we've built together." The barista called their names, and they picked up their drinks. Zara's client had texted to say she was running late, so they sat at the same table by the window where they had sat 5 years ago. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we hadn't met that day?" Zara asked. "Sometimes," Tyler admitted. "I think I would have kept going through the motions, working and taking care of Lily, being content but not truly happy. What about you?" "I think I would have kept building my empire, kept telling myself that success was enough, kept being lonely without admitting it." Zara reached across the table and took his hand. "I'm so glad we don't have to wonder what if. I'm so glad we have this." "Me too," Tyler said, squeezing her hand. "Although I do sometimes think about what I would have done if you hadn't spilled that water. Would I have had the courage to talk to you, to ask you out?" "I don't know," Zara said honestly. "I was so closed off back then, I probably would have assumed you were interested in my money if you had approached me. The fact that you didn't know who I was, that you just saw me as a clumsy woman who ruined your shirt, that made all the difference." "Life is funny that way," Tyler mused. "The smallest moments can change everything." Zara's client arrived then, and Tyler kissed her goodbye, heading back to his job site. The meeting went well, and afterward, Zara drove to pick up Lily from school and Thomas from daycare. Lily climbed into the car, chattering about a science project she was working on, while Thomas babbled happily from his car seat. That evening, the 4 of them had dinner together at their kitchen table. Tyler had made his famous spaghetti, which had gotten significantly better over the years, and Lily helped Thomas eat his cut-up noodles while telling them all about her day. After dinner, they played games in the living room. Thomas toddling around with toys while Lily and Tyler engaged in a fierce competition over a board game that Lily won triumphantly. Bath time was chaotic, with Thomas splashing water everywhere, and Lily trying to be helpful while Tyler got soaked. Zara watched from the doorway, laughing at the scene, her heart so full she thought it might burst. This was everything she had never known she wanted. This was home. After both kids were in bed, Zara and Tyler collapsed on the couch, exhausted but happy. "Remember when you said your life was small?" Zara said, curling into Tyler's side. "That day in the park when we first met." "Yeah," Tyler said, running his fingers through her hair. "I used to think my life was big," Zara continued. "I had this huge company, all this money, all this influence. But it wasn't big at all. It was tiny. Your life, with Lily and your work and your kindness, that was big. That was rich in all the ways that matter. You taught me that. And you taught me that it's okay to accept help sometimes," Tyler said. "That letting people in doesn't make you weak. That love is about partnership, not just sacrifice. We taught each other." "We did," Zara agreed. "We're good together." "The best," Tyler confirmed. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, just enjoying each other's presence. Zara thought about the woman she had been 5 years ago, running from meeting to meeting, living in her head, unable to connect with anyone in a meaningful way. That woman felt like a stranger now. "I've been thinking about something," Tyler said suddenly. "What's that?" Zara asked. "Maybe it's time to expand my business. Hire more people, take on bigger projects. I know I've always been cautious about growing too fast, but I think we're ready, and it would give me more flexibility to be home with the kids." "I think that's a wonderful idea," Zara said. "You're an incredible businessman, Tyler. You should trust yourself more," says the CEO, Tyler teased. "Says your wife who loves you and believes in you," Zara corrected. Tyler shifted so he could look at her properly. "I never get tired of hearing you say that. What, that I believe in you?" "That you love me," Tyler clarified. "It still feels miraculous sometimes that someone like you chose someone like me." "Someone like me was lucky that someone like you gave her a chance," Zara said firmly. "Don't ever doubt your worth, Tyler Lancaster. You're the best man I've ever known." "I'm going to kiss you now," Tyler warned. "I'm counting on it," Zara replied. The kiss was slow and deep, full of the love and commitment they had built over 5 years together. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. "Should we have another one?" Tyler asked suddenly. "Another kiss." "Definitely," Zara said. "Another baby," Tyler clarified, laughing. Zara considered it. "I think 3 is a good number for us. Lily, Thomas, and 1 more. It feels right. What do you think?" "I think I'd have 10 babies with you if that's what you wanted," Tyler said, "but 3 sounds perfect. A good, complete family." They started trying for their 3rd child that night, and 3 months later, Zara was pregnant again. Lily was thrilled. Thomas was too young to fully understand, and Tyler was walking on air. This pregnancy was a little harder than the first, and Zara dealt with more fatigue and morning sickness, but Tyler was there every step of the way. Their daughter, Emily Rose Lancaster, was born on a cold winter evening. She had Zara's blonde hair and a temperament that was fierce from day one. Lily declared herself Emily's personal guardian and took the job very seriously. Thomas was fascinated by his baby sister and wanted to touch her constantly, always gentle despite his toddler clumsiness. The house that had seemed too big when they first bought it now felt perfectly sized. Lily had her own room with the castle bookshelf Tyler had moved from the old apartment. Thomas had a room decorated with the mural Tyler had painted of trucks and construction vehicles. And Emily had a nursery painted soft yellow with clouds on the ceiling that seemed to glow in the nightlight. Zara officially stepped down as CEO of Hudson Tech Solutions when Emily was 6 months old. She remained on the board and maintained a significant ownership stake, but she handed day-to-day operations to Miranda, who had proven herself more than capable. It was time, Zara knew, to let go of the thing that had defined her for so long and embrace what truly mattered. Tyler's business continued to thrive, and he hired a general manager to handle the day-to-day operations so he could focus on design and client relationships, which he enjoyed most. It also gave him the flexibility to be home more, which was important to both of them. They fell into a routine that worked beautifully. Mornings were chaotic, with 3 kids to get ready and out the door. Lily was in middle school now, becoming her own person with her own interests and opinions. She was smart and creative, with Tyler's kindness and Zara's drive. Thomas was in preschool, energetic and curious, always asking questions and taking things apart to see how they worked. And Emily was a force of nature, demanding attention and giving affection in equal measure. Evenings were for family. They had dinner together every night unless something unavoidable came up. They talked about their days, helped with homework, played games, and just enjoyed being together. Weekends were for adventures, visiting museums or going to the beach, or just staying home and building forts in the living room. On their 10th wedding anniversary, Tyler and Zara went back to the coffee shop, now a beloved tradition. The kids were with Tyler's mother, who visited frequently and doted on her grandchildren. 11 years since I spilled water on you, Zara said, sipping her coffee. Can you believe it? Best water spill in the history of water spills, Tyler said, grinning. Changed my entire life. Mine too, Zara agreed. I was so lost back then, I didn't even realize how lost I was until I found you. We found each other, Tyler corrected. And then we built this amazing life together. They talked about everything and nothing the way they always did, about the kids and their futures. About Tyler's business and a new project he was excited about Zara's work with several charities she had become passionate about the house they were thinking of renovating to add a home office for Zara and expand Tyler's workshop. Do you have any regrets? Zara asked suddenly. About us? Never, Tyler said immediately. Do you? Not for a single second, Zara assured him. I just sometimes wonder if you regret giving up any of your dreams for Lily and for our family. Tyler reached across the table and took her hand, his thumb rubbing circles on her palm. Zara, my dreams were small compared to what I have now. I thought I wanted to travel, maybe start my own design firm, have adventures. But this, what we have, is the biggest adventure I could imagine. I get to wake up every day next to the woman I love. I get to raise 3 incredible kids. I get to build things with my hands and run a business I'm proud of. I have everything I ever wanted and things I didn't even know I could want. That's not giving up dreams. That's dreams coming true in ways I never expected. Zara felt tears well up in her eyes. How do you always know exactly what to say? Practice, Tyler said with a small smile. 11 years of practice. They finished their coffee and walked hand in hand through the city, talking and laughing and remembering. They passed the park where they had first spent an afternoon together, and they stopped to sit on their bench, the one that held so many memories. If you could go back and tell yourself anything that day, what would you say? Tyler asked. Zara thought about it. I'd tell myself to trust the feeling, to not overthink it, to know that sometimes the best things come from accidents and kindness and being brave enough to try something new. What about you? I'd tell myself that it's okay to let someone in, that not everyone is going to leave like Rebecca did. That love is worth the risk. Tyler pulled her closer. And I'd tell myself to buy stock in Hudson Tech Solutions because my future wife is a CEO. Zara laughed and swatted his arm playfully, always thinking about the money. Never, Tyler said, suddenly serious. The money is nice, don't get me wrong. I like that we can provide well for our kids and don't have to stress about bills. But I would have fallen in love with you if you were a barista at that coffee shop or another construction worker or anything else. It's you I love, Zara. Not what you have or what you can provide, just you. I know, Zara said softly, and I love you, your integrity, your kindness, your dedication to our family, the way you always put the kids first, the way you made me rethink everything I thought I knew about success and happiness. They kissed as the sun set behind them, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. It was a perfect moment, the kind that Zara had learned to appreciate, the small moments that made up a life well lived. When they finally headed home, they found the house in mild chaos. Tyler's mother had let the kids stay up past bedtime, and they were running around like wild things. But they both stopped when they saw their parents and ran over for hugs. "Missed you," Lily said, even though she was almost 13 and too cool for public displays of affection with her friends. "Missed you too, sweetheart," Zara said, holding her tight. Thomas and Emily clamored for attention, and soon all 5 of them were in a group hug in the entryway while Tyler's mother watched with tears in her eyes. "You two have built something beautiful," she said. "I'm so proud of you both." That night, after the kids were finally in bed and Tyler's mother had gone to the guest room, Zara and Tyler stood in their bedroom looking out at the backyard where Tyler had built an elaborate playset for the kids. "Happy?" Tyler asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "Deliriously," Zara confirmed. "You, more than I ever thought possible," Tyler said. "Thank you." "For what?" Zara asked, turning in his arms to face him. "For being clumsy, for being kind, for giving us a chance, for loving Lily from the start, for our family, for everything." "Thank you for being gracious when you could have been angry, for showing me what really matters, for being the best partner and father I could ever ask for choosing me every single day." "Always," Tyler promised, "for the rest of our lives. And beyond," Zara added. They stood there in the quiet of their bedroom, in the house full of the family they had built together, and both knew that they had found something rare and precious. Not because it was easy or perfect, but because they had chosen each other every day, through challenges and joys, through the mundane and the extraordinary. Years passed, and their love only deepened. Lily graduated high school with honors and went to college to study architecture, inspired by her father's work. Thomas turned out to have a head for business and spent his summer breaks interning at Hudson Tech Solutions, learning from Miranda and the team. Emily was still young but showing signs of being an artist, always drawing and painting and creating. Tyler's business expanded to 3 locations, and he finally felt comfortable with his success, no longer haunted by the poverty of those early years with Lily. Zara's charity work became her primary focus, using her business acumen and resources to make real differences in people's lives. They grew older together, navigating the challenges of parenting teenagers, supporting each other through losses and triumphs, celebrating anniversaries and birthdays and ordinary Tuesdays that were special simply because they were together. On their 25th wedding anniversary, they found themselves once again at the coffee shop. It had changed ownership twice, but was still there, still serving coffee to busy people rushing through their days. 26 years since the water incident, Tyler said, his hair now gray at the temples, his face lined with age but still handsome, still kind. "Best accident of my life," Zara said, her own face showing the years but her eyes still bright when she looked at him. "Mine too," Tyler agreed. "Though I think we've proven it wasn't really an accident. I think we were always meant to find each other. Maybe not that exact way, but somehow." "You believe in fate?" Zara asked, surprised. "I believe in us," Tyler said. "I believe that some people are meant to be together, and we're those people. Whether it was fate or luck or just a glass of water, I'm grateful for every moment." They sat at their table by the window, older now but no less in love, watching the world rush by while they took their time, savoring the coffee and the conversation and each other's company. "If you could do it all again, would you change anything?" Tyler asked. Zara thought about it, really thought about it. She thought about the struggles Tyler had faced, the hard years when money was tight. She thought about her own journey from workaholic CEO to present mother and partner. She thought about the challenges of blending their lives and raising children and building something that lasted. "Not a single thing," she said finally. "Every struggle taught us something. Every challenge made us stronger. Every moment, good and bad, led us here. I wouldn't change any of it." "Me neither," Tyler said. It's been a good life, Zara. A really, really good life. It has, Zara agreed, and it's not over yet. We still have so much ahead of us. Grandchildren someday, growing old together, more adventures. More Tuesday afternoons at coffee shops, Tyler added with a smile. Those especially, Zara said. They finished their coffee and walked back to their car, hand in hand the way they always were. At home, the house was full. All three kids were visiting with their partners. Lily had brought her girlfriend, who she was getting serious with. Thomas had brought his college sweetheart. And Emily had brought a friend she insisted was just a friend, though Zara suspected there was more to it. The evening was full of laughter and conversation, multiple generations of family coming together. Tyler grilled burgers in the backyard, while Zara made her famous potato salad. The kids set the table and caught up with each other, and for a moment, Zara stood back and watched it all, overwhelmed with gratitude. This was what that spilled water had led to. This family, this love, this life. It had started with an accident and a kind response, but it had become everything. It had become her entire world, and she wouldn't trade it for anything. Tyler came up beside her, slipping his arm around her waist. "What are you thinking about?" "How lucky I am," Zara said. How one clumsy moment changed everything. "We're both lucky," Tyler said. "Lucky we found each other. Lucky we were brave enough to try. Lucky we had Lily to bring us together." "She's pretty great, isn't she?" Zara said, watching their oldest daughter laugh at something her girlfriend said. "They all are," Tyler said. "We did good, Zara. We built something beautiful." "We did," Zara agreed, turning to kiss him. "We really did." As the sun set and their family gathered around the table for dinner, Zara felt a profound sense of peace. This was happiness. Not the success she had chased for so many years, not the money or the power or the accolades. This was real happiness, being surrounded by people who loved her for who she was, not what she could do for them. Having a partner who saw her completely and loved her anyway. Watching children they had raised together become good humans in their own right. It had all started with spilled water and a kind response. It had grown into a love story that spanned decades, weathered challenges, and only grew stronger with time. Tyler had been right that first day. Accidents happen. But some accidents turn into the greatest blessings if you're brave enough to see where they lead. Zara Hudson Lancaster had been many things in her life: CEO, entrepreneur, philanthropist. But the title she was proudest of was Tyler's wife and her children's mother. That was her greatest achievement, her truest success, her most important legacy. And it had all begun with water, kindness, and the courage to open her heart to something new.